The Kelly Brush Foundation is a local nonprofit on a mission to inspire those living with spinal cord injuries to live active and engaged lives. Joining me now to discuss their upcoming event, the Bay Area Kelly Brush Ride, is the board president of the foundation, David Sabow. Dave, thanks so much for joining us here today.
Olivia, thank you for having me.
Yeah, excited to talk about the Kelly Brush Foundation and all that it encompasses. And I know there's an upcoming event this weekend. People are probably very excited.
There is,
But first, let's talk about the Kelly Brush Foundation and why it got started in the first place.
Sure. Kelly Brush Foundation really started when Kelly Brush, a collegiate, very talented skier, had an unfortunate ski accident during a Division I collegiate race. This happened in 2006. And what Kelly and her family experienced was an outpouring of support of friends, coaches, family members that were able to bring a lot of capital together to help Kelly buy monoskis, adaptive wheelchairs, hand trikes, all the other equipment that would allow her to go and live an active lifestyle. And what Kelly and her family realized is that not a lot of people who have spinal cord injuries have that level of support. And so it was an incredible opportunity for them to say, look, something really unfortunate happened. It was a life challenge. Let's try to use that to make a bigger impact. And so such was born the Kelly Brush Foundation, which really became, a national organization focused on inspiring and empowering people with spinal cord injuries to live active and engaged lives, generally through activities, sports, recreation, and really getting outside.
And I absolutely love the message behind the Kelly Brush Foundation because, like you said, we just don't hear enough about foundations out there doing things for those who suffered or are suffering spinal cord injuries. And in what ways do people who participate in this foundation get to be active and get to live those lives that the Brush Foundation talks about?
Yeah, and so there are 17,000 spinal cord injuries every single year in the U.S., and so just an astronomical number. And when you think about it, and so many of us in the Bay Area, the reason we live here is that we love being outside and in nature and surfing and biking. And many of us who do those things regularly have had, that moment where something could have happened, right? And for a lot of those 17,000 people, it was a split moment where something could have been fine or it wasn't. And a lot of, paralysis happens from that. And so when that happens, most people have no idea where to start, where to go. They don't realize that you can get back to skiing, you can get back to mountain biking, you can get back to hand cycling, you can play tennis again, you can connect with your children, your spouse, your friends. And so, the Kelly Brush Foundation really became this conduit to educate, to empower, and to support people when they're ready to get back to living an active lifestyle. One of the things that I love so much, though, about the Kelly Brush Foundation is that as opposed to being just a program or an event where you might have a weekend or 3 or 4 days of trying an activity, the real home run for us is when someone can get their own equipment and they get to use it on their terms. And so that if your friends are out going for a ride, no problem, you've got your hand cycle in the garage. Or it's a powder day up in Tahoe, awesome, you've got your monoski ready to go. So it becomes a regular active part of your experience, your day-to-day experience, which is so good socially, it's so good mentally. And as we know from our time in the pandemic, it's just an incredibly important part of, of feeling like a whole, really engaged person.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's interesting because you brought up the point how a lot of people who suffer spinal cord injuries don't have access to this equipment, don't have access to be able to do these things. So maybe what does the Kelly Brush Foundation do to bridge that gap for so many people?
Sure. So there's a few different elements of it. First and foremost, we raise a lot of money so that we can go and provide this equipment to individuals who are ready for it, right? They've tried some adaptive sports. They know what they really are into. And, think about a monoski. That's a $4,000 piece of equipment.
That's a lot of money.
If you want to go mountain biking, right, that could be $12,000 to $15,000 because of the e-assist. So this is not insignificant expenses. And most people with spinal cord injuries, if you're not employed, if you have Social Security as your primary income, you're never going to be able to afford that equipment. And so for us, the opportunity to actually provide this really life-changing equipment to people, that's a huge part of the program. What we realized too, though, is that back to what I said earlier, right after your injury, so many people have no idea where to start. And so we established this thing called the Active Project, which is this large network nationally of programs that are, range from activities of skiing, mountain biking, rugby, tennis, you name it. But it's about really educating people of the realm of the possible after injury, and how do they get started? Where can they go and experience kind of, their own sports, their own kind of path forward? And the Active Project is something that we really started as a bit of an experiment. We have over 1,000 people that are using it every single day, and it's going to grow from there. So, we're just, and then the other part that I would highlight is that we also have specific camps that we put together too. We'll have ski days, we have mountain bike camps, we have what's happening in Mill Valley this Saturday, which is a big bike ride. We'll have a lot of adaptive riders and a lot of people from the community just coming out to really celebrate an active lifestyle and to really help those with spinal cord injuries in the Bay Area community.
Well, let's get some more details on the bike ride that's happening, like you said, this weekend. Tell us what it's all about and how people can come out and show up.
Yeah, so, the Kelly Brush Foundation has always had a big fundraiser bike ride. It was always on the East Coast. And, of course, I'm the board president living here in Paradise in Northern California. And, as I looked around at my friends, the community, the reason to live in the Bay Area is to be outside and active. And I said, gosh, we really need to have a ride here. And so my wife and I last year had the first big ride that we kicked off. We've more than doubled the number of riders this year. And at 8 a.m., people are converging on the floodwater in Mill Valley. Floodwater has been an incredible supporter through this, by the way. The first riders, I think, go out at 9 a.m., and we have a road route, we have a long and short road route, and we have a long and short mountain bike route. And if you're not into cycling and you just want to show up and provide your support, we're also having an after party, which I don't want to forget to mention that. And that's going to be from noon to about 3 o'clock at the floodwater in Mill Valley. Amazing.
So where can people find all this information, or if they want to come out and participate?
So just go to our website. It's thekellybrushfoundation.org, and it's with a K, kellybrushfoundation.org.
And one more question for you before I let you go, Dave. What do you hope that people take away from this experience as a whole?
I hope that people see that, no matter what life throws at you, that grit, determination, and community allows you to overcome anything. And I think that's the coolest part of the Kelly Brush Foundation. It just brings so many people together in a way that really creates authentic connections, and everyone moves forward.
Well, I love everything that you guys are doing at the Kelly Brush Foundation, and we appreciate you coming on the show and sharing it. So thank you so much, Dave.
Thank you. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Of course.